This is just a handful of masks that I found in the house that we've collected over the past year. It's something that I shouldn't leave the studio without. Keys, phone, wallet, and mask. And it's just become a regular part of our day to wear a mask in certain situations. Something that was just foreign to us a year ago here in the UK.
Face masks will be compulsory in a host of indoor settings.
But after the pandemic is over, should we continue carrying masks around with us? Because there is arguably a bigger threat to our health, and that's air pollution. I can already feel it. It's toxic fumes.
Paris instates traffic ban to control smog level.
Eiffel Tower is now being used to monitor air quality.
The World Health Organization estimates that air pollution, kills more than 7 million people per year. And just limiting air pollution could prevent 50,000 deaths a year in Europe alone. And you might be thinking, how can I personally change something as big as air pollution myself? But if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to share with you 7 solutions to help you reduce air pollution today, as soon as you finish this video. So I want to share a personal story from a trip I took in 2019 to Bangladesh. So I was traveling for 24 hours. I had a stop in Mumbai and then a stop in Dhaka before arriving extremely jet lagged in Chittagong. I arrived really late and I don't remember the journey from the airport to my hotel, and as soon as I saw my hotel bed, I just passed out. So when I woke up, I found my way to the roof to get a sense of where I am. I always like to do that when I'm on a trip. And the first thing I noticed was the amount of haze across the city. According to Yale and Columbia's University Environmental Performance Index, that's how you measure the pollution in the air in different countries, Bangladesh ranks 179th in the world for air quality in 2020. That is bottom of the list, second to Burundi in Africa. Whilst Dhaka, Bangladesh's capital, has emerged as the second most polluted city in the world in 2019's World Air Quality Report. In more simple terms, the toxic particles in the air in Bangladesh are 6 times more than the WHO's recommended maximum amount. It's like as bad as it gets. And Bangladesh is also the most densely populated country in the world, and the traffic, it's like nothing you've ever seen.
This drive is going to take 6 minutes. It's going to take half an hour. It's really gridlocked out here.
And I'm telling you this story because we had been in Bangladesh for a week, and I just remember feeling so uncomfortable in this taxi. It was hot, it was cramped, you could literally feel this poisonous smog going into our lungs. It was rough, but it was still one of my favorite trips of all time. But here's the point of my story. The problem of air pollution is not just in Bangladesh and developing countries. It might be on a different level, but air pollution doesn't respect borders or national boundaries, and experts are now saying that it could lead to mass migrations in the future. If for some reason you are on the fence about climate change, just look at the effects in Bangladesh, and that's a video I want to make at some point down the line. And in the UK, 200,000 deaths are linked to the exposure, and 1 in 4 deaths worldwide have also been linked to the exposure of air pollution. So it's a problem for all of us. Hey man.
Hey mate, how you doing?
Tom, I'm making a video around air pollution, and I want to explain to people what actually is air pollution and how is it produced, and I figured you are probably a much better person to answer this question.
All right, well, you know, like there's loads of different types of pollution, yeah? And air is just one of them. Well, kind of like that, when it comes to air pollution, it's a lot of different things going into it. You're generally talking about chemicals and like particles that are in the atmosphere. And you're thinking about things like greenhouse gases, like carbon dioxide and methane. These can be made naturally by things like volcanic eruptions or wildfires, or just like things like pollen in the air.
What are the biggest human contributors?
Well, with human activities, you're talking about like power generation, transport, you're talking about industries like agriculture, waste incineration, and then just things like landfills as well contribute a lot to air pollution.
So cities with their crowded streets and high energy usage are hotspots for illnesses and diseases related to air pollution. Like, let's take China, for example. Beijing is notoriously bad for air pollution and smog. Breathing in a day's worth of air in Beijing has been compared to smoking 40 cigarettes a day. My family actually used to live there and they moved because the smog is just so bad. But in August of 2019, Beijing did experience the lowest level of pollution and the city is showing significant improvements. To bring it back home, here in London, the air pollution has dropped significantly since Sadiq Khan became mayor in 2016, with a 94% reduction in the number of people living in areas with illegal levels of nitrogen dioxide. But regardless of his success in the last few years, Sadiq Khan still said London had a long way to go to reach the WHO's standards, which were much higher than the UK's. But the rapid decline that London has seen was before the coronavirus lockdown, so technically it should be even lower now. You see these roadblocks? They're called ultra low emission zones. They're all around the borough. Hackney Council say they owe it to the residents to reduce the air pollution. There's one outside my studio. People don't know what to do because it's not that clear. Like, for example, I don't know if that truck was allowed to go through that. It's council, but the sign says no cars or bikes except local buses and cyclists. I mean, the signs is not very clear. It's a sore subject with drivers around Hackney. But I mean, it's helping to lower air pollution, apparently. I think it's a good thing. I mean, I don't drive. I don't know why you would drive in London. So there is many different cities and countries around the world that have their own issues and their own ways of tackling air pollution, for better or for worse. But if I was to sit here and go through all of them, we'd be here for a very long time. And at the start of this video, I said that I was going to share 7 tips on how you can help reduce air pollution yourself from today. Okay, so here they are. Number 1 is pretty simple for everybody to do right now during our pandemic, and that is stay local. Shop local, go to local spots, cut down on using a car, and walk or cycle to places, which kind of leads into number 2, finding alternative ways to get around, like walking, cycling, public transport, or in my case, an electric skateboard. And number 3, if you are having to drive and you're frequently going to the same place as somebody else, perhaps you could consider car sharing. Don't do that during a pandemic, but afterwards, that is a great option. Number 4 is switching energy providers. Perhaps find a company that uses renewable energy sources. You can also install a smart meter into your house and you can see how much energy you're using. It's very clever. Number 5, you could cut down on meat and dairy. Cattle and dairy farming is responsible for a large amount of emissions put into not just the air, but into the ground. Number 6, planting more trees and greenery. This can help improve long-term air quality in your local neighborhood. And number 7 is supporting clean air initiatives. And keep an eye on local development and policy changes that are focused on air pollution. The low emission zones I showed you in Hackney is something that the borough of Hackney, where I live, is really trying to drive home. No pun intended. There you go, and I'm sure you can find more online. I'm not telling you to implement all of them. You do you. Do whatever you like. I'm not your dad, you do you. And I'd say it's almost impossible for us as human beings to be completely carbon neutral, like instantly. There's hypocrisy in this video where I'm talking about the air pollution in Bangladesh, and yet I took a flight to Bangladesh. I travel a lot for my job. I take commercial flights, and that's something that I have to wrestle with myself or try and offset in ways, you know. But if we all implement some of these actions and make it part of our regular routine, the individual change over time will affect others, and it will grow and it will become more widely adopted, just like masks have been in the last year. Maybe if you're really concerned, continue wearing a mask, depending on where you are. Perhaps you do live in China or places in Asia and just masks were regular beforehand, you know? Like, I wish I had a mask in Bangladesh if I went back. I'm 100% taking one of these with me. God knows I've got enough of them. So thank you for watching this video. If you're new around here, my name is Andy. I make these explainer videos that are focused on travel in different countries and communities and cities that intrigue me. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do like this video, leave a comment below. I'd love to know what the air pollution is like in your city. Perhaps you don't know, so Google it and find out. Perhaps you do, and this is something you deal with all the time. Leave it in the comments and let's use that as a place to continue this dialogue, you know? And then also feel free to subscribe to this channel. I'm trying trying to make these more regular. At the moment, in my head, I'd like to make one each week. I'm gonna try and stick to it. I don't know how it's gonna happen with the other things I have going on, but yeah, episode of Origins coming out this Friday. If you wanna find out a bit more about what makes fencing an extreme sport and the history of it, and if you just wanna see me get my ass kicked by an Olympic gold medalist, you're in luck. Tune in on Friday on Red Bull to check out episode 2 of Origins. Episode 3 is coming very soon. And that's about it. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.